Two sisters. Same job, same city, same paycheck. $68,000 a year. One of them, Ashley, started investing $300 a month into her Roth IRA back in early 2024. Her portfolio was growing. She was proud of herself. She felt like she was finally doing the right thing with her money. Her sister Brittany did something that looked boring from the outside. She didn't touch the stock market for almost a year. She just saved. Fast forward to January 2026. Ashley's driving home from work on a Thursday night when her car starts shaking. She pulls over, transmission gone. The repair shop calls her the next morning, $2,800. Ashley checks her bank account. She has $400 in savings. She puts $2,400 on a credit card at 24% interest. She stops her Roth IRA contributions to pay it off. 14 months later, she's still not back to where she was. She lost over a year of compound growth and paid hundreds of dollars in interest on top of that repair bill. Same paycheck, same car breaking down, same highway, completely different outcome. Brittany? She had $10,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account. She called the shop, gave them her card, and paid the $2,800 in cash. She kept investing. She didn't even stress about it. So what did Brittany know that Ashley didn't? And here's the real question. Which one of these two sisters are you right now? Stay with me for the next 15 minutes, because by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what to do based on your age, your income, your situation, with real data and real numbers. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. I drop 3 videos every single week covering real money topics with real numbers, no fluff, ever. Let me explain why this debate is so hard, and why almost every piece of advice you've ever heard on this topic is incomplete. On one side, you have the invest first crowd, and their argument is bulletproof, mathematically speaking. Vanguard actually ran the numbers on this, and what they found is genuinely alarming. If you take two people with the same income and the same investment habits, but one starts investing at 25 and one starts at 35, the person who waited ends up with nearly half the retirement savings. Half. Not because they invested less money, just because they waited 10 years. That is the power of compound interest, and that is a real and serious argument for investing as early as humanly possible. 10 years of waiting doesn't just cost you 10 years. It costs you nearly half your retirement. But then there's the other side, and their argument is just as powerful. Here's a number I want you to sit with for a second. The average credit card interest rate right now in 2026 is sitting at around 24%, and the average long-term stock market return is somewhere between 7 and 10% a year. Do you see the problem? If you invest instead of building a safety net, and then life happens, which it always does, you end up borrowing money at 24% interest to cover an emergency. You're now losing more in debt than you're gaining in the market. The math completely flips on you. Both arguments are right. That's why people freeze. They hear both sides and they don't know who to listen to. The answer, and I'll prove this with data, is that there is a specific order to do this in. And once you know the order, everything becomes clear. Before I give you the framework, I want to show you where most Americans between 25 and 50 actually stand today. Because context matters here. And honestly, some of these numbers are pretty eye-opening. Let's start with the most important one. Bankrate put out a survey this year, and the number that came back genuinely surprised me. More than half of Americans right now, in 2026, cannot cover a single $1,000 emergency without going into debt or borrowing money. More than half the country. That means the majority of people watching this video are one car breakdown, one medical bill, one broken appliance away from a credit card charge. That's not a judgment. That's just where we are. And it's exactly why this topic matters so much right now. Let me break it down by age group. Ages 25 to 34. This is the Ashley group, the FOMO years. You know you should be investing. You've seen the content about compound interest. You've probably already opened some kind of investing account. You feel behind, and you want to catch up. Vanguard looked at people in this age range and found the average 401k balance sits around $42,000. That sounds decent on the surface, but here's the thing. More than half of those same people say they can't cover a basic emergency. They are investing, but they have no floor underneath them. One bad month and everything unravels. That's Ashley. Ages 35 to 44. I call these the sandwich years. Mortgage, kids, maybe aging parents, career pressures. You are being squeezed from every direction at once. The average savings account balance for this group is around $41,500, which is almost identical to the younger group, even though these people are a full decade further into their careers. Think about what that tells you. Life got expensive, savings didn't grow, and Bankrate found that about 43% of people in this age range report feeling financially insecure, even though many of them are at or near their highest earning years ever. Ages 45 to 50. This is where urgency becomes very real. Retirement is no longer this abstract far-off thing. It's a decade away for some people, maybe less. More than half of Gen X say they don't feel financially secure right now, and only about 4 in 10 feel like they're actually on track for retirement. But here is some genuine good news if you're in this group and you feel behind. The IRS gives you what's called a catch-up contribution starting at age 50. In 2026, the standard 401k limit is $23,500. But once you turn 50, you can add an extra $8,000 on top of that. That brings your total to $31,500 per year. Most people in this group either don't know about this or haven't taken advantage of it yet. If you're 50 or close to it, this is the number I want you to remember. This is the part of the video I want you to pause on or screenshot or write down. Because this framework works regardless of your age, your income, or how far behind you feel. It is not about choosing between saving and investing. It is about doing them in the right order. Step 1. Get to $1,000 in savings. If you have less than $1,000 in liquid savings right now, meaning money you can actually access today without selling investments or borrowing, this is your only job. Build $1,000. $1,000 is not enough to fully protect you. We'll get to that, but this first step is less about the amount and more about what it does to your brain. When you hit a savings goal, even a small one, it changes how you think about money. It builds the belief that you can do this. That discipline is the foundation for everything else. Cut subscriptions, pick up extra hours, sell something you don't need. Whatever it takes, get to $1,000 first. $1,000 doesn't solve everything, but it changes everything. Step 2. Always capture your employer match. Once you have that $1,000 foundation, here is the one exception to the savings first rule. If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not contributing enough to get the full match, fix that today. Here's why this is completely non-negotiable. If your employer matches 50 cents for every dollar you contribute up to 6% of your salary, and you contribute that 6%, you are getting an instant 50% return before that money even touches the market. There is no investment on earth that guarantees you a 50% immediate return. Not crypto, not real estate, not anything. The employer match is the single best guaranteed return available to any working American, and you should never ever leave it on the table. Your employer match is a guaranteed 50 to 100% instant return. Nothing in the market comes close. Step 3. Build your full emergency fund. Now you have your $1,000 starter fund and your employer match locked in. This is where you go all in on building a real emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your actual living expenses. For most Americans in 2026, that number lands somewhere between $12,000 and $30,000, depending on where you live and what your monthly bills look like. You don't need to get there overnight, you just need to be moving toward it consistently. And here is a 2026 specific tip that a lot of people are missing. Right now, high-yield savings accounts are paying between 4 and 5% per year. Your emergency fund doesn't just have to sit there doing nothing. It can grow while it waits. Brittany's $10,000 emergency fund at 4.5% is earning $450 a year just for existing. That's a car payment. That's a month of groceries. Put your emergency fund somewhere it works for you. Park your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account, earning 4 to 5% right now. Your safety net can grow while it waits. Step 4. Now invest aggressively. You have your emergency fund. You have your employer match. Now the gloves come off. The IRS sets a cap on how much you can put into a Roth IRA each year. Right now in 2026, that limit is $7,000. If you're 50 or older, they let you put in an extra $1,000, so $8,000 total. If you are not maxing that out yet, that is the very first place I would focus your investment dollars. After that, push your 401k contributions higher. Then look at a taxable brokerage account. Then index funds. The key word is aggressively, because now you can invest with real confidence. You know that if your transmission blows out like Ashley's did, you have the cash to handle it without touching a single investment. That protection is what lets compound interest actually do its job. I want to walk you through the actual math here, because numbers make this real in a way that words alone can't. Let's take two people, both 28 years old, both earning $60,000 a year. Both want to retire at 65. Ashley starts investing $400 a month right away, no emergency fund, all in on compound interest. Brittany spends 14 months building a $12,000 emergency fund first. Then she starts investing $400 a month. Most people would assume Ashley comes out ahead. She started 14 months earlier, right? Here's what actually happens over 37 years. Ashley experiences 3 major financial emergencies: a car repair in year 1, a medical bill in year 4, a job loss in year 9. Each time she has no emergency fund, she stops investing, she goes into debt, she loses an average of 16 months of contributions per emergency. Brittany experiences the exact same 3 emergencies, but she pays every single one from her emergency fund in cash. She keeps investing through all of it. She never stops, never misses a month. At age 65, assuming a 7% average annual return, Brittany ends up with approximately $180,000 more than Ashley, despite starting 14 months later. Starting 14 months later with a full emergency fund means roughly $180,000 more at retirement. The delay didn't cost Brittany, the debt cost Ashley. That is the math nobody puts in front of you. The emergency fund versus investing debate is the wrong frame entirely. It's not about which one is better. It's about which one protects the other. I want to spend a few minutes on the psychology here, because this is the piece most finance videos completely skip. And it might be the most important part. Most people who don't have an emergency fund are not irresponsible. They're not bad with money. They're just human. And there are 3 specific patterns that lead smart, well-intentioned people to skip the emergency fund and jump straight into investing. Pattern 1. The optimism bias. This is the belief that bad things happen, just not to me. You know emergencies happen. You've seen it happen to other people. But somewhere in the back of your mind, you believe your car won't break down. You won't lose your job. Your health will hold up fine. The Federal Reserve has tracked this, and what they've found is that the average American faces a financial emergency serious enough to need $1,000 or more, about once every 18 months. If you've gone a couple of years without one, statistically one is coming. That's not me trying to scare you. That is just what the data shows. Pattern 2. The compound interest fixation. You have heard about compound interest so many times that it has almost become mythological. And the math is completely real, but what the charts almost never show you is compound interest working against you on your debt. $2,400 on a credit card at 24% interest, minimum payments only. That $2,400 turns into over $4,100 before it's paid off. Meanwhile, your investments might have grown maybe $800 over that same period. You are still down nearly $900 net. Compound interest does not care which side of the equation you are on. Pattern 3. Shame. This one nobody talks about openly. A lot of people avoid building an emergency fund because they feel behind. They feel like money sitting in a savings account instead of the market means they're not serious about building wealth. That thinking is keeping people broke. Having a fully funded emergency fund is not timidity, it is financial intelligence. The genuinely wealthy people you can study always have liquidity. They always have cash reserves. They don't put every dollar to work because they know that absorbing a shock without selling assets is itself a form of wealth. Liquidity is not weakness. Liquidity is strategy. Here is exactly what I would tell you to do this week, based on where you are in life. If you are 25 to 34, time is your biggest advantage, but only if your foundation is solid. Build a 3-month emergency fund first. For most people in this group, that means $8,000 to $12,000. Open a high-yield savings account today if you don't have one. While you do that, contribute just enough to your 401k to capture the full employer match and nothing more. Once the emergency fund is fully funded, go aggressive. Roth IRA first, then push the 401k beyond the match, then a brokerage. If you are 35 to 44, you are in the expensive years. Your emergency fund needs to be bigger, 4 to 6 months, which for most people here means $18,000 to $28,000. If you don't have that yet, make it your obsession for the next 12 to 24 months. Cut aggressively. Increase your income where possible. Get there. Once you do, you will invest with a completely different level of confidence than you ever have before. If you are 45 to 50, the urgency is real, but so is the opportunity. Check your 401k balance against retirement benchmarks. A common rule of thumb is 3 times your salary saved by 40 and 6 times saved by 50. If you are behind, a lot of people are, that is okay. That is what catch-up contributions exist for. Starting at 50, you can put $31,500 per year into your 401k. If you can increase contributions by even $500 a month above where you are today, you will be surprised by what that becomes by the time you hit 65. We started this video with Ashley and Brittany. Same income, same life, same car breaking down on the same highway on the same cold January night. From the outside, it looked like Ashley was winning. She was in the market, her portfolio was up. She was talking about her Roth IRA at dinner. She looked like she had it all figured out. Brittany looked like the boring one, building an emergency fund, not in the market yet. Nothing exciting to talk about, but financial success is not about looking like you have it together. It is about actually having it together when life tests you. And life will always test you. That is not pessimism, that is just the data. The emergency fund is not the opposite of investing. It is what makes investing work. Ashley wasn't bad with money. She was just missing one piece of the framework. And that one missing piece cost her 14 months of compound growth and hundreds of dollars in interest. Now you have the full framework. You know the order, you know the math, you know the psychology behind why smart people get this wrong. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it this week? Let's do the fast recap. Step 1, get to $1,000 in savings, right now, this week if you can. Step 2, contribute enough to your 401k to capture every single dollar of your employer match. That is free money, take all of it. Step 3, build your full emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5% while it waits. Step 4, then invest. Aggressively, consistently, knowing that your life is protected and your investments can grow without being interrupted. Ashley or Brittany, you now know exactly how to be Brittany. Drop in the comments right now. Which step are you on? Step 1, 2, 3, or 4? I read every single comment and I want to know where you are. If this video gave you clarity today, share it with one person in your life who needs to see it. 3 videos a week, every single week. I will see you in the next one.